First at 4, Governor Whitmer says Michigan students will not go back to class this school year. And here's her assessment of the state's battle against coronavirus.
The fact of the matter is we are nowhere near the end of COVID-19 in the state of Michigan.
We're sorting through what her order means for students, for teachers, and families all across Michigan. Also, one local hospital is getting creative to bring support to patients who are isolated by the virus. How you can add to the well wishes. Hi, Ben.
Karen, good afternoon. We're off and running 60 degrees today, and now that we've hit that mark, we're going to see it for about the next 7 days. We'll look at the warm stretch and rain for the weekend right now, first at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, school is out and Detroit could be the site of groundbreaking new research. Now we are tracking the day's top developments. Governor Gretchen Whitmer finally made it official. Classes are canceled and schools are closed for the rest of the current school year. We've also learned that Detroit City Council President Brenda Jones has tested positive for coronavirus. She is one of more than 10,000 cases now being reported across the state. While 417 people have now died at this hour, the city of Detroit is set to start using rapid test kits from About Labs, the first city to do so, and Mayor Duggan just announced Henry Ford hospitals are asking the FDA to do drug trials, testing hydroxychloroquine as a way to protect frontline workers from the virus.
They are getting close to FDA approval. They're going to start enrolling volunteers. Doesn't matter if you're from Southgate, Birmingham, Grosse Pointe, Detroit. We're looking for first responders and healthcare workers who, if the study works out, will save the lives of first responders around the world.
And we'll have more on that drug trial in later newscasts. Now back to Governor Whitmer and the long-awaited decision on the fate of Michigan's public schools. Now, she has suspended face-to-face instruction for the rest of the school year, but Whitmer says that does not mean learning will stop. Let's get to Devin Skillian. He is in the newsroom with the very latest, and this is affecting so many families.
Well, it sure does, Karen. Michigan has 1.5 million students. The governor stresses this was a very big and very difficult decision. During an announcement before noon today, she stressed she wants learning to continue by whatever means possible.
That means learning by phone or mail or online. That means project-based learning and paper packets, telephone lessons, and things that can be used as means of alternative mode of delivering instruction. You know, what we want to make sure is that no student is penalized because of COVID-19, that they are not held back because of this global crisis that we're confronting.
The governor's order asks that each district come up with a plan that matches its assets and its limitations. She's asking districts to ensure that seniors, the class of 2020, are allowed to graduate on time. Standardized tests for the rest of the school year, though, have been canceled. There will be dates in October for the SAT and PSAT. Teachers and school employees, important to note, will be paid for the remainder of the school year. But what about the start of school in the fall? Well, Whitmer says she needs more data before deciding on that.
We need to be doing robust testing in order to really assess when and how it's safe to resume life. And that includes what school looks like in the fall.
Karen, no doubt the future of our schools will be a big topic in the governor's town hall meeting, which is coming up this evening. You can watch the event live on Local 4. We will stream it for you at clickondetroit.com. It starts at 7 o'clock tonight. We hope everyone will take a moment to join us to talk about the crisis facing the entire state. 7 p.m. this evening.
And Devin, this is an unprecedented event, the town hall meeting. We have never done anything like this. I love how everyone is joining together.
A real team effort here. I'll be working with Huel Perkins from Fox 2 News and Carolyn Clifford from 7 Action News to get answers from the governor. The town hall is going to be broadcast on television and radio stations all across the state, not just Metro Detroit. So we really are all in this together and really proud to be a part of a really unique event. Again, we hope you'll join us this evening here at 7 o'clock.
I bet a lot of people will.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Devin.
You bet.
Of course, we'll see you at 5 and 6. Well, the governor's decision has a ripple effect on every district, every teacher, and every student in Michigan. The districts now face the challenge of how to make sure students get the best learning experience possible. So our Paula Tutman is tracking that part of the story. And Paula, what are you hearing from district leaders today on today's big decision?
Hi, Karen. Well, I think Devin said it when he said the governor was talking about educating in whatever means possible. And that really is the piece that is going to loom the largest, because there is no one size fits all. So this is incredibly complex. A cross-section of districts, 5 superintendents and district representatives, a wide cross-section in demographics in terms of wealth, lack of wealth, food security, food insecurity, access to technology and not. Novi, Rochester, Wayne Westland, Walled Lake, and Pontiac. And the biggest worry across the board is those children who will fall through something larger than a crack as organized, curriculum-based, measurable education stops.
We've known that inequity exists for a very long time, and now it's very apparent to us, and it's an opportunity for us to address it.
The districts have had to dance a waltz on a pinhead, finding ways to bridge the digital divide and reach children where they are. The plan is different for Walled Lake with 14,000 students and only 2% without connectivity.
I think these crevasses are expanding in this rapidly evolving situation as people lose their jobs and become ill. My biggest concerns right now is how we are reaching everyone.
Then Wayne Westland's 10,000 students with 40% without connectivity. That's 40% of the student population in one district today at acute risk of being left behind.
To say that we're going to go fully online right now is just, and from my personal opinion, not an option for us. It's our goal to continue with a district umbrella of assignments, and then teachers would fill in from there. Part of it is us setting up distribution stations, right, where we can get them work.
For Pontiac, a district of 4,000 with 90% on free and or reduced breakfast and lunch programs, Pontiac will be asking its board Monday for resources to purchase 2,300 Chromebooks to bridge that digital divide. But with much of the country and the world shut down, they know they will not get those devices quickly enough. And so tutoring is being acquired from Oakland University.
We're going to be able to set up a weekly schedule to get lesson plans and packets to our families that just cannot access the technology or are experiencing an inability to get to us to pick them up. We have our own TV station in the district. We're going to utilize that too for people who still have cable and want to access lesson plans, maybe create some videos and things like that too.
That's a while. I mean, did your head just spin after hearing all of that? Again, so incredibly complex. Still some superintendents to hear from. Those from particularly districts that are considered wealthy, not so wealthy as people start losing their station in life. You'll hear from them at 6. Also, incredible conversation with all of those superintendents. We're going to put the whole thing online. It's very instructive. No matter what school district you go to, I urge you to listen to it, Karen.
Such an important conversation to be had, and then you throw into the mix when you have working parents and they aren't able to even be with the child to help facilitate that education. So much to balance. Look forward to seeing that online, and of course this is a story we're following all day long as this decision has just been made today. Earlier today, the state's chief medical executive said we don't know when the virus will peak. She also says good social distancing is the key to beating the virus, and that order applies to everyone.
We also have to understand that no one is immune. There are people who are young. There are people who do not have underlying medical conditions, who are getting sick and are dying. We must heed the governor's executive order to stay home and stay safe.
One of the many heartbreaking aspects of this outbreak is the patients that are battling COVID-19 are being forced to do so without their loved ones by their side. Now, a local hospital system has found a way for the community to show their support. Our Dr. Frank McGeorge is here to explain how you can send your well wishes to patients and staff.
The idea was inspired by the nurses at Henry Ford, who shared how stressful the no visitor policy is for patients and their families. This program uses the hospital's in-house TV monitors to let the community reach out virtually to send messages of encouragement.
They come in a little story. They come in sometimes a crayon picture by young children. They come in inspirational quotes.
It's called Well Wishes. Bob Riney, Henry Ford's chief operating officer, says the hospitals have already received thousands of messages to share with patients.
We're with you, and we care about you, and we are praying in whatever way people pray for their safety and their return to health.
They've now expanded the program to include wishes for staff as well.
We now have a way for the community to not only touch our patients with messages of encouragement, but also to send messages to our staff that they know how hard they are working. They know the risk they are putting themselves in, and they are so, so appreciative of it.
A much-needed boost for those fighting this illness.
The nurses have reported the smiles on their faces, the thumbs up when they're able to read these messages.
Now, we've put a link to send a message to patients or staff on the health page at clickondetroit.com. There is also an email address to send pictures of homemade cards or drawings so you can get your kids involved too. Now, the Karmanos Cancer Institute has started a similar program for their patients, and we have included that link as well. Back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc. And Doc McGeorge is going to return later. New at 5. Why is this virus so deadly? What is it actually doing inside of a patient's body? The doctor shows you how COVID-19 is different than other illnesses. And at 6, a closer look at those rapid test kits we talked about earlier, how they work, and what they mean for the coronavirus battle. So make sure to stay with us. Well, if you had any opportunity to get outside, I'm sure you were smiling. That sun was out, the winds calmed down. It was just gorgeous out there, Ben. Me and the girls were playing some heavy basketball in our driveway earlier today.
That's good to hear. I mean, everybody just feels better with all that sunshine out there, and we're going to get more of it tomorrow, too. Look at how it looks downtown. A lot different than the same picture we were showing you yesterday at 4 o'clock. Temperatures have topped 60 degrees. We're at 61 at Metro, just a little bit of a north breeze to add to those mild temperatures. We're going to keep it going Friday. Weekend, kind of a mixed bag, but there's a little bit better news, and we'll talk about that. And a very active stretch ahead as we get into next week. So a lot to discuss when we see you again in just a few minutes. Karen?
All right, we look forward to it. Thank you, Ben. Still ahead, first at 4. Some parents might be running out of new things to do with their kids. Now, a country music legend is offering a special treat just before bed. This is pretty cool. We'll talk about that. Plus, we're also tracking coronavirus headlines from around the world as another country reaches a grim milestone. China taking another step toward normal life, but there are still some pretty tough restrictions. We'll talk about how a person's smartphone is the key to moving around in Wuhan. Stay with us.